All right. Arnold County Court of Bath County now in session. Margaret Jackman Collins, please resign.
Mark Presley, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Please bow. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, dear Lord, for gathering us together. Praise, dear Lord, give us wisdom to make the best of citizens that we can for our community. Just thank you for many blessings. Thank you for always being for us, and thank you for all you do for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen.
Mr. Nollner, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carter, would you lead us in roll call, please?
Beverly Atwood. Tommy Belcher.
Here.
Shane Burton.
Here.
Alan Carmen.
Here.
Grant Cothran.
Here.
Brian Crook.
Here.
Will Dennis.
Here.
Jerry Ford.
Here.
Chris Gregory.
Here.
Bubba Gregory.
Here.
Landon Gully.
Present.
Richard Johnson. Judy Kerr. David Nollner.
Here.
Leslie Overman. Mark Presley.
Here.
Amber Russell. Lonnie Taylor.
Here.
David Thomas.
Here.
Steve Whitaker.
Here.
All 20 present.
Thank you. I'm assuming everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes.
Motion approved.
That's a motion to approve. Commissioner Pruitt, second from Commissioner Ford. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carried. Under announcement, we have with us tonight, Gil Carter, are you back there, Gil? Would you like to approach the podium and make an announcement about the Alpha Games?
For y'all that don't know me, my name's Gil Carter. My wife and I run a nonprofit called Crossroads Mission Care out in Cato. One of the things that we do is we provide services, resources, hospitality, and workshops for first responders. And we directly serve first responders in Sumner, Wilson, Trousdale, Smith, and Putnam County, and indirectly most of Middle Tennessee. And we do everything from, my wife has a family therapy background, so she does stress management workshops, she does trauma debriefings for first responders. And we do quarterly, we do encouragement baskets where we go to all the different stations in those counties and deliver basically treats donated from the community to those first responders. Just let them know that the communities really appreciate what they do. Well, I'm here tonight because one of the things we do is we do Alpha Games First Responder Festival. And we started 3 years ago. And we started 3 years ago because the former Chamber of Commerce director said, Trousdale County does not have a signature event. And we thought, well, that's a win-win. We'll be able to serve first responders and serve our new hometown because we've been here 4 years now. We thought it would be a win-win for everything. So we do 100% of our own fundraising. So our first responders don't cost them a thing. The Alpha Games is free to the public. But here's where I need your help. We have not had as much buy-in from the community as we would have hoped in order to keep holding it here in Trousdale County. And I say that, now when it comes to events, the first year sleeps and the second year creeps and the third year leads. So this is our third year. We're expecting it to start growing exponentially. But our board of directors has said, how's your buy-in in the county where you're serving? I said, well, it's not what we hoped, and they're pushing us to move to another county, especially given the fact that some of the other county mayors have said to us, Mayor Isbell said, hey, why don't you come to Sumner County? Mayor Hutto said, hey, you can have the fairgrounds for free, but we want to help and stay in our hometown if at all possible. We can't do that without your help. So there are several ways that you can help. You can, a lot of you have constituents that you contact on a regular basis. If you can encourage them to come, it's free to the public. We do that so that when our first responders are out there competing, they've got their hometown out there cheering them on. But we also would ask that you come. The mayor's providing his misting tent, which, I don't know if you've been to an event out here lately, those things are welcome. But we'd love for you to come. We'd love for you to be involved in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This year, we've added, in addition to our team competitions and our individual competitions, we've added a Jeep show. So we're trying to bring as many people into the county to spend their money in our county as possible. But like I said, we need your help to be a little bit more effective. So that this year we can go to our board of directors and say, hey, we have a tremendous surge in support in our community. So we can say, hey, can we do 2024 there? So we love you guys and stay on social media. We've got flyers that you can distribute. We'll have posters that you put up. We put them up at DT McCall because your brother's a supporter. And we'd love for all of you just to show up and just cheer on. Got bouncy castles, we got life flights coming out for the day to let kids play. I mean, there's vendors, food trucks. It's just a good day for the whole family. So if you have any questions, I'll leave all my contact information. These two guys know where to find me too. So if you want to give me a yell, I'd be glad to talk to you about it. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
September 16th. Saturday, September 16th, 9 to 4 at the city park. Thank you. Thank you, Brad.
Mr. Thomas Harper, would you come up here, please? Many of you may or may not know that Mr. Harper has chosen to retire from the planning commission. So we want to present you tonight with this plaque that says, with our greatest appreciation presented to Thomas Harper in sincere appreciation for your 30 years of committed and dedicated service that's contributed to our success. Harper, Trumbull County, Tennessee. Take your honey to her favorite restaurant.
All right.
And, you know, case makes a knife that won't hold an edge.
Yeah.
They also make a carbon steel knife that will hold an edge. And it says on one of these blades, 30 years. And anytime you use it, think of all the people that appreciate you. Thank you for all your support.
It's been a pleasure. Over the 30 years, I've seen a lot of things. Two rock warriors, EBA. I've seen a lot of changes. And I think I was one of the planning commissions on the committee when we wrote the charter. Slack over that. I'll say I've had my butt chewed, but it's been a pleasure. I hope our county continue growing and doing good, but thank you a lot. Wish y'all all the best.
Next order of business is to set the agenda for this evening. Each of you has a copy of the budget amendments that were passed out. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the setting the agenda. Motion by Commissioner Ford, second by Commissioner Chris Gregory. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. The agenda is set. At this time, if there are any citizens who would like to respond to any of the agenda items, you may come up and sign up at the podium on any of the agenda items that you would like to comment. Please come forth and sign. If there are none, I'll then go to the mayor's report. I just have a couple of items that I want to make you aware of. Enbridge did make a $25,000 contribution to our park projects. That money will be held until we need it as matching funds or whatever the next project is, but that that money, we received that money this week and deposited in an account. They also made a $12,000 contribution to our fire department for the purchase of gear. And are looking to be a sponsor at our gala when it comes up in the fall. So Enbridge has really pitched in and made contributions to this as we move forward. I think I made mention of the fact in the planning meeting that the sheriff and I have entered into a option to purchase agreement with Holders Tobacco Warehouse, considering all the warehouse itself and all the land that surrounds it. Our next move would be to begin the process of doing an initial EPA assessment and share that information and the dimensions of the building with Spirit Architecture so they can begin to give us some numbers on what the cost of the jail might be if part of that building is used as part of the jail and in the criminal justice portion. Under committee reports, there's no need this time to mention the executive committee, but we'll move on to emergency services, which met on August 9th. Chairperson from that committee, you have any comments this evening?
Yeah, sure, I can go over the minute. I'll just hit the highlights. We, with the ambulance service, we discussed the rate, to compare them with the surrounding counties. The fire department let us know that the new brush truck should be here, in December, and the brush truck is at Lancashire. The rescue Tahoe that was just purchased is, getting the striping and lighting package completed soon. They also discussed the resolution that's on the agenda later on. We don't currently have a meeting scheduled, we likely meet in October.
Thank you. Item C, codes and zoning. We have a report from that committee.
So we met on August 10th. Went over we're talking with Rick, and he's running into some conflicts between county and the city ordinances. And so he was asking for a little direction on that from the committee. We were going through those. Wanted to make sure that no matter what we were suggesting, that we weren't creating any new zoning laws. We're using the guidance out of the charter that if there's a conflict between the two, the more restrictive overrules. So that's what we're doing. When there is a conflict, the more restrictive of the two is the one that gets put forward. And so we're going through those. He's gotten all the way through all the first part of our codes and zoning. Now he's actually into the actual zonings themselves, going through each part of those. So I'm really excited about the progress that we're making on that front. Also, the adult entertainment ordinance came back out of planning with the addition of the definitions. So that is all now completed and been reviewed by both bodies. That was sent to Mr. Beller. So that is before us tonight also. Our next meeting will be held on September 7th at 6 p.m. in the mayor's office.
Thank you. Finance committee met on August 14th, I believe.
Yes, sir. Finance met on 15th and the 21st. This was the 14th was the meeting strictly to discuss. We invited all commissioners. We did have a big turnout. I think 13 commissioners in total that night to discuss pieces with the presented real tax and for that would be where that meeting entirely focused on. We then met on the 21st to discuss the budget amendments that are before tonight. All budget amendments for tonight were discussed at that meeting. All budget amendments came with a favorable recommendation from committee. We did look at trustees' balances and financial summaries, which they're very young. When we look at July, that's the first month of the of your budget year, so they were very young. No findings in those pieces that were any concern. Any questions over anything in front of you tonight?
Is the senior center, are they going somewhere else?
It states, I don't know, if I'm going somewhere, but it states that they are looking to purchase a building and a storage. Building. I think I was under the understanding that their storage building is currently dilapidated, in need of.
That's correct. Thank you, Commissioner Gully. Public Works.
Yeah, we had a meeting on August 23rd. Pretty easy. First discussion was on the 2023 postseason. Rough estimates right now, we've probably lost approximately 15,000 probably on the food this year. Give or take 1,002, might be less. He said he had some deals. There was bills of food that might have go to another department, but he's probably waiting on $13,000 to $15,000 loss this year on the food. We talked about the courthouse. The train came in last week. The train, the public works out on the system, but it wasn't working well. So they had 50 pounds of Freon, but it needed more by the morning of August 22nd. All the refrigerant will be poured and refilled at 150 pounds, expected to be done Friday or Saturday. So they noted that the electrical permit was pulled, but has not been inspected yet. Then, he said Serpro has been in and cleaned most of the building. Said they got it clean, looking good, and then some of the floors in where the Basin Commission is going to be, it's still scuffed up. And the question was asked, was trained to be responsible for paying for that floor? He said he was going to try to get bids from, I think, Elmore Flooring in the Fed or something, I think. And we'll pay for it, then we'll turn around and build train after we do that. Then we see the Justice Center here. I think the heat and air has been running nonstop here since said all 4 coolant fans went out at the same time. Said fuses are going on a regular basis. He said parts have been ordered to fix it. Said it'll probably be 65 days estimates of all parts to arrive. And it was asked if it was under warranty, but it was not. Then Steve Paxton with the Election Commission, he was here. We didn't know when he could get in the courthouse because he said the deadline for March primary started in October. But Richard Slay said that the air conditioner got to be fixed before the floor is installed. So we still don't see how they can get in there yet. Then also in the administrative building, a generator. I think it's been the third. Says the only one that had been through unrepairable. The Taylor generators in my house thinks they can fix it. We have a gas generator back of it, but it's hard to use. We're gonna wait to see this Taylor generator can fix this, and not we're gonna buy a new generator from the administrative building first. So like everything's hitting here at once. Then discussion was on the playground. All the fence posts have been taken up. The equipment starting to come down. Old equipment will go on sale online in September. And these fence posts are being stored for future use. It was also brought up about the leftover bricks that was from the courthouse up here. Still stored, and we made it. We said we need to make a decision pretty soon what we need to do with them. Then we had a lady from Red Water Springs. She was here on that discussion of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Grant that we going to apply for. She said Red Water Springs received $879,000 plus $120,000 maintenance for 10 years for the playground. And I asked her, was any match, local match? And she said, no, up there was not local match. It was just, that's how much money they don't have. They give them $120,000 for the next 10 years to keep it up, you know. That. So this is something we're pushing, and this lady here, I think she's gonna help us with. We will try to keep that ball rolling so we can get something, you know, for that. And that was about it, I guess.
Question?
If that is a brand new central heating air system in our courthouse, and it is leaking, we shouldn't accept that unit or units. They should take it out and put in different equipment. I am aware that and are they the same company that put the money in over here at the Little Justice Center? They've had trouble from day one, and it's just been going on, and now it's not anymore because the company was. We should accept that.
I think what they were doing was testing to make sure, to find any leaks that might be there. And I understand that the temperature in there in the courthouse the last 2 or 3 days has been much, much better. I mean, and one thing Cliff said was it would take some time to regulate the humidity in the building once everything was running, and that's kind of where they are now.
So we're gonna just accept the equipment? Usually you put in something.
Not until it's working properly.
I know, but it's leaked. They had to put in more. It's leaking.
I think that's what they were trying to discover. And evidently did, because all the rooms, as I understand it, were being cooled properly this week.
Does new equipment generally leak?
You'd have to ask a technician that, but sometimes when they put it in, they have all kinds of joints and everything that they're having to test along the way. At least that's my understanding. Any other questions of Commissioner Gregory?
And he also said he was to put a fence around that unit out there, that was not included in there, they said it's about cost $1,500 for us to put a fence around it.
Protected. Any other questions of Commissioner Gregory? Yes, sir.
We're talking with the lady from, Red Bull, with the money that we could possibly get from, Blue Cross Blue Shield, is there any chance that that money could supplement or match as far as our grant goes?
No, I think it all has to go to the project. Yeah, I'm quite clear on that. They make a non-matching grant. They fully fund the project once it's approved. And what they're doing now is evaluating our master plan to see what would best fit in that master plan, whether it would be tennis courts and basketball courts, or even the possibility of a softball complex. But she's evaluating that for us now. Any other questions of Commissioner Gregory?
Did I hear you say pickleball also?
You didn't hear me say it, but that was included when we talked to her. Thank you. Any other reports? Any committee reports that I've left out? If not, we'll move to active business. We have 2 resolutions this evening that were covered in work session. Resolution 2023-24-793, the ECD road names of Sunrise, Peaceful, and Ivy Brook. They were discussed in work session. Your motion to approve? Motion by second. I hear a second.
Brian.
I'm sorry. Brian, did you do a second?
I did the motion.
We heard him make the motion.
Okay, I'm sorry. She heard Brian make the motion. Okay, second. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carried. Resolution 2023-25-794. Medical training assistance. That was discussed in a work session. Yes, sir.
Did we get any answers towards some of the concerns that were on this resolution? I think one of the biggest ones was it being open to any. There was a question of.
I think you might have to address that in form of an amendment at some point.
Before we move this resolution.
I thought the meeting was going to discuss it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion to approve then amending and taking out county resident and just adding volunteers.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
makes sense.
Just we're only adding volunteers to this. We're not adding county residents.
So
That is my motion.
are you, she's
Yes.
making a motion to me.
She's making a motion, this resolution to include that same fire department volunteers and rescue squad volunteers,
Okay,
but not county residents.
so we have a motion to amend the resolution as written to include that language. Do I hear a second to the amendment? Yes.
I second.
Second to the amendment to the motion. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
Why do we not want to open this to Travis County residents if we're having such a time getting people for those departments? You know, it's. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's not a funding issue, but I think the previous commission stuck back 30,000 for that program and nowhere near that amount's been spent. And Amy, please correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't spent anywhere near of that 30 grand that was originally allocated.
No, we've only spent 6,000.
So it's not like there's a funding issue. I think we ought to leave it as it is. We can certainly give priority to volunteers and rescue squad, but I think we ought to leave it as it is.
Commissioner.
Yes, sir, I do not disagree. I think we need all the help that we can get from a volunteer standpoint. But your average citizen is not going to be held under the personnel policy of this county. It's for employees and volunteers of Travis County, and there's no way to regulate the citizen of the county under that personnel policy as it sits.
Why would they need to be held to the personnel policy? All we're doing is paying for them to go to training. If they go to training, they're hired, they become a county employee, then they fall under the.
But they have to meet the county policy, the personnel policy, all of those policies, they have to meet those criteria. That's where they have to meet them.
Any further discussion? We have an amendment before the court.
Does our volunteers fall under the bylaws or the personnel policy?
I'm sorry.
Volunteer fire department, do they follow under the personnel policy or the bylaws?
There's aspects of the personnel policy that they fall under, and they do have a set of bylaws that they operate within terms. So the answer to the question is both.
Further discussion? If not, we have an amendment to the motion on the floor. Any other discussion? All in favor to the amendment to the motion? Do we
To the
need
resolution.
Hmm?
Amendment to the resolution.
the amendment to the resolution? I'm sorry. Gonna show of hands or with a roll call? Hmm?
You might as well go ahead and roll. call.
Okay. Then we'll roll call.
Beverly Atwood. Tommy Belcher,
Yes.
Shane Burton.
Yes.
Alan Carmen.
Yeah.
Grant Cochran,
Yes.
Brian Crook,
No.
Will Dennis,
Yes.
Jerry Ford,
Yes.
Chris Gregory,
No.
Bubba Gregory,
Yes.
Landon Gully,
Yes.
Richard Johnson, Judy Kerr,
Yes.
David Nollner,
Yes.
Leslie Overman.
Yeah.
Mark Presley,
No.
Amber Russell,
Yes.
Lonnie Taylor,
Yes.
David Thomas,
Yes.
Steve Whitaker,
Yes.
17 yes, 3 no.
Okay, the amendment passes. Yes, sir.
I have a motion to approve with the amendments.
Okay, motion to approve with amendment, second by Lonnie Taylor, motion by Mr. Gully. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries. Under ordinances. Item number 1, ordinance 295-2023-32. To amend personnel policy under the subject of nepotism. Everyone's had an opportunity to read the ordinance. I understand a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Beverly Atwood. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? I think we've already taken the vote. Entertain the question. Votes are, yes. Any opposed? No. Motion carried. Sorry, it's already taken the vote. Under item number 2. Ordinance 296-2023-33. To amend zoning resolution section 5.045. That 2 was covered in work session. Yes, ma'am. Motion to approve by Overman, second by Alan Carmen. Discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Under budget amendments, under Fund 101, County General, you have 101-01 GR. Senior Center Grant Funding and Reserves for $17,940. Under 101-02R, County Clerk Office Equipment, $186. 101-03G, Election Office Equipment, $20,000. Can we cover all those in one? Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make a motion for Ken to cover those in one.
Okay, motion by Gregory, second by Atwood. To cover all 3 of those. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carried, those 3. Under Fund 118, Ambulance Services, 118-01, PRN positions, transfer of $26,000. Discussed in work, motion to approve, motion by Bubba Gregory, second by Chris Gregory. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Under Fund 141, General Schools, 141-01G, School Safety Grant. Is that merely a transfer?
It's just appropriating grant.
Appropriated grant, okay, in the amount of $56,497. Motion to approve by Jerry Ford. Second by. Mr. Preston. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We have, are you going to pronounce these for me? We had 2 notaries that clerk will pronounce their names for you.
Sabrina Arsenault and Jacqueline Dillard.
Okay. Motion to approve. Motion by Chris Gregory, second by Mark. Go ahead and make it so I'll call your name. Okay. Mark Presley. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Under other business, Mr. Beller, I believe you have something to bring.
I do, Tommy, if you could help me out with this, make sure I don't miss anything, sir. Tommy had approached me a week or so ago, and what this is, the utility district, there's a rural water PFAS cost recovery program. And it's not a class action lawsuit, but it's a multi-litigation lawsuit. And in order for us to enter into the lawsuit, the attorneys for the firm of McCauley and Skolnick PLLC have put forth a retainer agreement that would allow in the future for any cost recovery. Is that correct, Tommy? And now, it doesn't cost us anything. We're not having to pay any cost or court cost or anything like that. They fund it, and of course their agreement's on a contingency basis, 25% of the gross, which basically means if they collect the 25%. It's not a punitive measure, so there's no punitive damages involved. But it's a suit against the global manufacturers of compounds and but it doesn't impact any local companies according to their representations to us. So what I'm asking is on behalf of the utility, since they are a board, that this body authorize Tommy to go ahead and enter into an agreement for that retainer agreement, so we can go ahead and get them on board to recover the cost to us that we might be due under that PFAS cost recovery is what it is. So I'm just asking for a motion to be reflected in the minutes, that's all. Tommy, is there anything else you need?
Unless you like questions.
Motion by Bubba Gregory, second. Second by David Thomas. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carried. Any other business at this time? Yes, sir.
The health center had an open house up there tonight. I stopped by there a few minutes, Commissioner Greer, these reports. She said they see cookies here. But if you hadn't been by there, you didn't go by and check. I mean, it is really nice. They do good things up there. I was really impressed with what I saw and what's going on there. And I just wanted to say that she sent cookies, Commissioner Greer, you might want to say something. Let's sit more there.
I think Bubba said it all, like I said, you know. I don't have to, like, I'm very pleased with the turnout, like, encourage anybody to come by. Open Monday to Thursday, 10 to 4, once they come by, check us out.
I think anytime we can call attention to what's going on, if they're spread the word, it's a good thing. They are doing a great job. They really are. Any other public comment or business? Yes, sir.
This year, last week during work session, at the end of that, I made a statement that on the list of approved and optional services the state requires, that ambulance service wasn't on that. That was referencing a list from the CCAS for new commissioners. I went back and looked at that, and as of 2021 in April, that list was amended. And ambulance service, a minimum of one ambulance provided either by the county, surrounding counties, or a private entity was added to that list. And so I have the link for that. If any commissioner wants that list of the required versus optional services and an updated list of that, I can provide that.
Thank you. Any other, I guess it's time for public. Any public comment? Just any other business before we ask for public comment?
I think you were gonna set a meeting.
I think we're gonna do that later. We're going to set it, but not tonight. Any public comment? Anyone? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion, I don't remember Russell. Second. This motion is not debatable. All in favor? Say aye. Thank you all.